So what if I told you that the next generation of advanced aircraft isn't being designed by engineers in some lab, but by tigers, dragonflies, and albatrosses? Yeah, it sounds like something straight out of science fiction, but we're about to dive into a revolutionary simulator that's doing exactly that, using nature's best designs as a playbook for the future of flight.
I know. It sounds a little out there, right? How can the messy, beautiful chaos of biology provide a blueprint for something as precise and calculated as an autonomous drone? Well, the answer is way more disciplined and, frankly, more fascinating than you might think. Okay, let's just cut right to the chase with a really direct question. How on earth does a cheetah, a land animal famous for its incredible speed, help design a machine that flies?
The answer is actually pretty simple, but incredibly powerful. See, it's not about making a drone that looks like a cheetah, it's about borrowing its most effective traits, the very things that make it an evolutionary masterpiece.
And that right there is the absolute core of this entire concept. We are moving away from just vague inspiration and into a new, highly structured way of thinking. This isn't about using fuzzy metaphors, it's about extracting quantifiable, hard data. It's all about the traits.
This slide really breaks it down perfectly. The old way, over on the left, was poetic, sure, but basically useless to an engineer. Fly like an eagle. What does that even mean in terms of thrust or aerodynamics? But the new way, on the right, distills that idea into a measurable trait: high burst takeoff power. Now that's a number, a variable you can actually plug directly into a simulation and work with.
The official fancy term for this is using animals as structured generators. But really, all this means is that nature has already done millions of years of research and development for us. An animal is a proven package of traits that are known to work well together. I mean, think about it. A cheetah has both explosive power and a lightweight structure. Those aren't a random combination. The simulator uses these proven bundles as a massive shortcut, saving incredible amounts of R&D time and money.
So, here's how it actually works in 4 simple steps. First, the simulator randomly picks between 1 and 5 animals. Then it pulls out their key engineering traits, the good stuff. Third, those traits become the actual parameters for a virtual drone, defining its mass, its power, its stability, the whole shebang. And finally, step 4, it runs a full mission simulation to see how that new design actually performs in the real world.
All right, let's make this real. Our first case study focuses on a classic engineering problem. How do you generate immense power and carry heavy payloads? For this, the simulator looks to nature's best, the predators. And we're talking about 2 heavy hitters in particular, the tiger and the eagle. Both of these are apex predators that have absolutely mastered the physics of explosive power and managing heavy loads, whether that's launching into a powerful jump or literally carrying prey that outweighs them. And this table shows you exactly how that inspiration gets translated. An eagle's explosive takeoff from the ground, that becomes the engineering trait lift, burst, power. Its strong, robust frame becomes struct, robust gear. And its ability to carry heavy prey securely, that's payload, central talon. You see, each biological advantage maps directly to a specific engineering parameter, creating the blueprint for a rugged, heavy-lift drone.
And what's the result in the simulation? Well, it means the virtual drone can take off way more aggressively, it has a much better chance of successfully climbing with a heavy load, and it's far less likely to fail during a rough landing. You get a tougher, more capable machine, and you get there faster without having to build and break dozens of expensive prototypes.
And the detail here gets really cool. A trait like struct tendon cables, which is borrowed from animals like tigers and cheetahs, isn't just a vague idea like strong structure. No, the source material defines it with this quote: as a sophisticated engineering concept. It's about using lightweight cables that are incredibly strong under tension, just like the tendons in an animal. It's elegant and it's brutally effective. Okay, so we've seen how to build for pure power, but what about a totally different challenge: endurance and stability? For that, we have to turn to the true masters of flight. For this kind of problem, the simulator turns to the albatross and the dragonfly. One is the undisputed champion of energy-efficient long-distance soaring, and the other is an absolute master of hovering and rejecting turbulence with incredible control. 2 very different specialists. The crucial point here is how these completely different biological solutions map to completely different drone designs. The long, narrow wings of an albatross, those translate directly to the trait wing high aspect, which leads you to a hybrid drone built for long-range efficiency.
But the dragonfly's 4 independently controlled wings? That becomes stab distributed thrust, the basis for a highly stable multirotor that can handle intense wind gusts.
And the payoff for borrowing from these masters is crystal clear. In the simulation, these drones require way less power to cruise, which means they can fly for much, much longer. They survive better in windy conditions, and they're way less likely to just run out of battery and fall out of the sky. This is how you unlock brand new missions, things like long-range medical delivery or persistent environmental monitoring.
So let's pull all of this together. Why is this approach so important? What's the bigger picture here? Well, this is more than just a clever simulation. It's a completely new philosophy for how we approach design.
Real-world engineering is just a game of trade-offs. You want more power, that's usually going to mean more weight and less efficiency. You want more stability? Well, that might cost you some speed. Every single animal is a living, successful solution to a set of these exact trade-offs. This system allows engineers to explore a massive library of proven solutions, completely bypassing dead ends that could take years of work. It's not about copying an animal, it's about learning the fundamental rules that made it so successful in the first place.
When you really think about it, this approach is about recognizing that for millions of years, nature has been running the most complex simulations on Earth. It has been solving the hardest engineering problems imaginable, and we're just now learning how to read the results. So the real question this leaves us with is, what should we ask nature to help us solve next?